sure to check out Agelessgeeks for your figures and collectibles. So what is going on, my fellow collectors? How's everybody doing today? Daredevil19 here, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Bandai Tamashii Nations SH Figuarts Iron Man Mark 20 Python. So let's get into it right away and take a quick look at the box. So we do get the basic style box when it comes to the SH Figuarts MCU line, and since it is a web exclusive, there is no window there, just a dope image of the figure. So on the top here says SH Figuarts Iron Man Mark 20 Python. On the bottom says Marvel Iron Man 3. We do get the Tamashii Nations quality sticker, Tamashii Nations, and Bandai. And then here's the bottom of the box, just says Python Iron Man Mark 20. Here's the top of the box, same thing as the bottom. Then the one side does have a close-up image of the figure. The other side of the box does have another similar type image there. And then the back bit does show a few poses you can get the figure into, along with some of the accessories. But anyway, that is the packaging. Let's get this figure to take a closer look at pretty much the Mark 7, just repainted black and gold there. With a little bit of silver. I think there's silver in there. Alrighty, taking a closer detailed look, and once again Tamashii Nations did another fantastic job with an Iron Man figure, and I thought this one was just a complete repaint of the Mark 7, which it isn't, thankfully. The only parts I believe that are reused are the torso and the arms and the shoulders and stuff. I believe the legs and the head sculpt is different from what I can see. Definitely the legs. The head sculpt also looks different, but the torso and the arms look the same to me. Plus he has the same weapons on the arms as the Mark 7, but the paint sculpt turned out fantastic on this figure. I just have a little black mark right there, which kind of sucks, but besides that, everything else turned out really nice. I like the black paint, kind of has a metallic look to it, and the gold looks really nice too. But the head sculpt looks great. They always do on the Iron Man figures. Very clean paint all throughout it, some dope sculpting as well, same with on the neck. Also, as you can see there, then the torso here, the arc reactor looks pretty cool, and we do get translucent plastic. It looks like, I don't think it is on the eyes, definitely is on the arc reactor, and I like the way the arc reactor looks inside with the black and the silver. I think that looks pretty damn cool. The shoulder pieces look dope. Very clean paintwork all throughout the metallic black and the gold there. I always like the way this piece looks too, like on the side of the torso, a couple pieces of gold mixed with the black, and the sculpting looks sick as hell as well. I like the spine piece also. That looks pretty cool. And we do get the shoulder pads, which are connected to the arms, and you can see the arms do shift in and out, which we'll go over during the articulation. But we do get some clean paint all throughout it, and I love how they do the elbow joints on Iron Man figures. They blend in perfectly on them. And the lower arm looks pretty good too. Now for the legs here, I believe the hip pieces or the upper thighs are the same as well as the Mark 7, but we get some nice sculpt and paint on that. Same with on the legs. I love the way the legs look. The sculpting just looks out of this world fantastic, especially around the knee. That looks so damn sick, man. Like I said, the paint's very clean as well. Really love the way those pieces look on the knees there. And then even the lower legs look pretty cool. I like these pieces on the side, this piece on the inside of the leg as well. Very cool looking. The only thing that sucks about this Iron Man is these pieces hinder the articulation on the ankles big time, man, and it really does suck. And we do get the die-cast metal for the feet as well, and I love the way the feet look too. Very cool looking. So the legs throughout the armor on this just looks dope as hell, so really, really nice job by Tamashii Nations. And the bottom of them, we do get some sculpt detail on it as well, and some peg holes. But once again, I think Tamashii Nations knocked it out of the park with another Iron Man figure, and the detail definitely turned out fantastic on this. But anyway, let's continue on. Moving on to the accessories, we get some pretty cool stuff included with this Mark 20, which is pretty much the basics when it comes to an Iron Man figure. So what we do get 6 different blast effects. So we do have the ones for the feet for when he's taking flight, and we do have the ones for the hands when he's taking flight, and then we do have the Repulsor Blasts. And we've gotten these pretty much every time we've gotten an SH Figuarts Iron Man figure. It is a translucent plastic, does have some nice sculpt and paint to them as well, and I'll show you how to put those on the figure right now quickly. Alrighty, and the way you get all the blast effects on is very simple. For the feet, they do have the peg holes, so all you do is just peg these in like so, and there you go, as simple as that. Now for the flight one, for the hands, you have to have these hands on with the peg on the palm there. You just peg the flight ones in like that. Then the Repulsor Blast ones, same exact thing, just peg it right onto the peg there, and then there you go, as simple as that. So we do get all the blast effects, and then we also get some of his weapons. So starting on the right, we do have the shoulder missiles, then we do have the lasers that go on the top of the hand where the armor is, and then we do have the missiles that shoot out the forearm. So we do get the missiles that shoot out the shoulder, and these are the same ones that we got with the Mark 7, and I appreciate them including these with this figure instead of just giving us just the blast effects and the hands there. But it does have some nice sculpt and paint detail to it, and it's very easy to swap that. I'll show you that quickly in a second. Then we do get the laser beam type things that shoot out his armor on the top of his hand, and these turned out pretty good too. Like I said, the same things we got with the Mark 7 Iron Man. I'll show you how to put those on shortly. And then finally we get my favorite, which are the missiles that shoot out the top of the forearm, and these turned out really good too. Very nice sculpt and paint detail all throughout them there, and I'm going to show you how to put those on the figure right now. And the way you get all the weapons on is also very simple. So for the ones that go on the handguard here, you have to remove the one that's already on there, of course. Then just take the weapon, peg the peg in, and then there you go. That's the laser ones right there. Then the ones for the arm here, all you do is just unpeg this piece on the top of the arm, then take the missile here and just peg that in. And like I said with the Mark 7, it looks like he's shooting himself in the arm. So what I do, I don't fully peg it in. I kind of have it rest like that so it doesn't look like he's shooting his own arm or hand off. And then for the shoulder, for the shoulder missiles here, let me make sure I get the right side. Whoops. Alright, then we'll do this side instead. So they're pegged in at the shoulder. So I would just wiggle it back and forth till it unpegs. Then take the ones with the missiles, peg that in, and then there you go. You have the missiles shooting out of the shoulder. Very simple to swap all those accessories there. So we do get all that cool stuff. And then we finally get 8 alternate hands. And starting on the top right here, we do get a pair of fists, of course, which do come on the figure out of the packaging. And every time you swap the hands, you do have to swap the hand guards as well, which is very simple to do. And if you own SH Figuarts Iron Man figure, then you know that is the basics when it comes to swapping his hands. And then we do get a pair of open resting type hands. We do get a pair of karate chippity chop chop hands. Whoops. And then we do get a pair of Repulsor Blast hands with the pegs on it. And they do put the peg hole for the wrist joint on an angle. And I still don't understand why they don't give us a set of these without the peg on it. I'm kind of getting sick of them always including it with the peg on it and not giving us a set without the peg on it as well. You know what I mean? It's kind of getting boring just having the peg on the palm of the hand. I want to make it look like he's about to shoot a Repulsor Blast, but he isn't shooting one, you know what I mean? But we do get some great detail throughout all 8 hands, and they're very easy to swap out as well. But anyway, that is all the accessories included with this Mark 20. Let's keep moving on with the rest of the review, shall we? Now for the height of the Mark 20 Python armor to the very top of the helmet. It looks like it's a little bit over 6 inches tall. And then here it is compared to the SH Figuarts and Game Captain America, the Mark 7 Iron Man, the Infinity War Thor, and the Infinity War Thanos. And as you can see, it's the same height as the Mark 7. And then here he is compared to the SH Figuarts Infinity War Black Widow, the Far From Home Spider-Man, the Mafex Infinity War Iron Spider Spider-Man, and the Mafex comic version Venom. And then here he is compared to the Storm Collectible Smoke, the SH Figuarts Sage Mode Naruto, the Mafex Justice League Batman, and the Figma Black Swordsman Guts. And then here he is compared to the SH Figuarts Awakened Warrior Super Saiyan Goku, and the Mezco 112 Deadpool. Anyway, there's some quick comparisons. Let's keep moving on with the rest of the review. So now for the articulation, and we pretty much get the basic movement that we always get with an SH Figuarts Iron Man figure. This one has very similar articulation to the Mark 7, of course. So we do get 2 joints at the neck here. The upper neck joint is on a barbell type joint, so you do get much better movement compared to it being a ball hinge, but you can get Iron Man to look up about that much with the upper neck. Does look down a tiny bit with the upper neck. Then you do get a little bit of pivot there, which is pretty good, and then you do get swivel as well. The lower neck is pretty tight on mine, but you get great forward and back movement. So with both joints, you can get them to pretty much look all the way up. You do see a bit of gappage there, though. In both joints, you can get them to pretty much look all the way down. And just be careful when articulating the neck. You don't want the head or the neck rubbing up on the shoulder pieces, and then some of your paint chips away. Then you do get some nice pivot at the lower neck, then it does swivel as well. So very nice articulation at both those neck joints. Then we do get a point of articulation at the torso and the waist, and my torso joint is really tight when I try to swivel it, but you can get Iron Man to crunch forward that much with that joint. You do see some ugly gaps in the back there, and doesn't really go back at all with the torso. And it can pivot, but like I said, it's just really tight on my figure. As you can hear, it's really tight. And then it does swivel as well up there, but man, I really can't get it to swivel. Even though it can, and it can pivot, it's just the joint's really tight. And then the waist here goes back, so it does make up for the torso not going back, and then it does go forward just a tiny bit, so that's how far forward you'll be able to get Ironing Board Man to crunch forward. We do get a tiny bit of pivot there, and then slight swivel as well. I always feel like this joint can't swivel, but it does. There we go. I got it to swivel a little more there. Now for the arms here, as I mentioned, they can shift out and shift in to avoid paint rub there. And if you do have them in, you won't be able to do certain poses. Like, see, you can't move the arm out because the shoulder pad piece is hitting against the shoulder. So you're going to have to push it out there. And the shoulder pad piece, as I mentioned, are on the arms, and they are connected with a hinge, so they can hinge up and down there. And then the arms do go, whoops, you darn piece, get out of my way. The arms do go out to the sides about 90 degrees. As you can see, they do go up and down, and we do have a very nice circular motion out of the arm as well. And then we do get the true bicep swivel. As you can see, we do have double jointed elbows that do bend in all the way, and those elbow joints look great. And this piece right here keeps falling off. It doesn't peg in securely, and it keeps popping off on me, which irritates the hell out of me. And then the armor on the top of the hand does have a hinge on it, and then we just have the ball peg on the wrist right there. Now for the legs here, they do drop down, so you avoid paint rub on the crotch piece there and on the hip or upper thigh piece. And the legs do kick forward a lot more than 90 degrees, so that's definitely dope. They do go to the back about 90 degrees. Let's see if Iron Man can Jean-Claude Van Damme it, and he almost can. Very nice leg movement with Iron Man here. And then you do get the hip swivel, then you do get upper thigh swivel, but that joint that's at the thigh is a ball peg, so you can move that up and down a little bit, and it does pivot a little as well. I like those joints that Tamashii Nations use on their Iron Man figures there. Then we do have double jointed knees. They do bend back a little more than 90 degrees, and like I said, those joints blend in beautifully on this figure. And then this is where we have an issue. As I mentioned before, the armor on the lower legs here around the ankle really hinder the ankle articulation, and it's pretty much pointless having any type of articulation up here. So you really can't get them up at all. They really don't go down at all. And you really can't even get them to swivel either. And then the pivot's just non-existent, man. The ankle joints just suck on this figure. I don't know what the hell they were thinking. Why didn't they put a hinge on this piece? Or even on these side pieces like what they usually do with their Iron Man figures, so you can use the damn ankle articulation. So really disappointed with that, because you can't put them in certain poses because of that. And then we do get a bit of a toe hinge there, but overall, Tamashii Nations did work in the articulation very well on this figure, and I also forgot to mention these pieces are on a hinge as well, just like the Mark 7. But they did work in the articulation very well. The only issue is the ankle joints just flat out suck on this figure, because they didn't put any effort into trying to make those joints work with how the armor looks. So very disappointed about the ankle articulation, but besides that, you'll be able to get them in some okay Iron Man Mark 20 like poses, and I'm about to show you some of them right about now. But anyway, that is my review of the SH Figuarts Iron Man Mark 22 Python. Hope you enjoyed it. If I had to rate this figure with detail, I'd give it a 9.5. Articulation, I'd give it an even 8. And accessories, I'd give it an even 9. If you would like to know the price and where to buy this figure, I did get mine from Agelessgeeks, so you can check over at Agelessgeeks.com. If you can't find it on there, I do highly recommend going through their Instagram or Facebook page. I will put more information in the description below. And if you would like to support the channel, don't forget to subscribe and click on that notification bell. And if you liked it, feel free to give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, oh well, I guess you didn't like it. But thanks for watching. I will see you later. The Far From Home Spider-Man, the Mephex Iron Spidery Spider-Man. But overall, I think Tamashii Nations once again knocked it out of the park with another Man Iron Man figure.